Over the next 3 nights here on Action News at 11, Greg Catlin will help save your life, showing us all how to get out alive. Greg?
Thousands of people die every year across the country in house or apartment fires. But knowing what happens when fire strikes can help save your life. Over the next 3 nights, we're actually going to show you what happens so you can get out alive. This is not a fire started by accident. This is not a fire started by carelessness. This is a fire set on purpose. This is that same house before fire destroyed it. It's here on Dunham Hill Road in the town of Barker, a house like many others. We're going to use this house to show you how to get out alive. How? We're going to set it on fire. Come on in, take a look around. This is the living room where the fire will start. It's an old house for sure, but it suits our purpose. Right off the living room is the baby's room. We're going to keep this door shut to show you how you can help yourself by keeping doors closed in a house fire. Also in the living room is the door leading to the upstairs bedroom. This door will be kept open. The smoke billowing up the stairwell could kill anyone sleeping in this bed.
With your door shut, your room should stay smoke-free for the most part.
With the door shut?
With the door shut.
Open?
Open, it's going to immediately start filling up with smoke just like the rest of the house is going to. And with that, if you're sleeping, a lot of times people, just do not wake up.
Ken Clark is the Castle Creek Fire Chief. His volunteer fire company is using this house for training. We'll be working with them to burn this house to the ground. We'll position one of our cameras through this wall, low to the ground, looking into the living room, so you can see better. The same is true if there's a fire at your house. You can see better lower to the ground, and you can breathe better too. Plus you can escape the heat of the flames lower to the ground, because while the temperature down here could be around 200 degrees, the temperature up here could be more than 1,000 degrees.
Especially at night, if you're in bed or during the day you're asleep on the couch and you hear a smoke detector go off, don't jump up, don't stand up, because what you're doing, you're putting yourself probably within a temperature range immediately of almost 800 degrees. Stay low, roll off the bed, roll off the couch, and then see what's going on around you.
You'll be able to actually watch what happens when we set this house on fire. It will take only minutes for this fire to take off. You will only have minutes to get out alive. Now, we allowed that fire to burn for only 3 minutes, to be exact. The fire department, standing ready just outside, was even surprised at how quickly it burned. Now, tomorrow night here on Action News at 11, we're actually going to take you through that fire, step by step, actually showing you what happens with our cameras inside. It is a sobering look, but it will help people get out alive.
A very important look tomorrow night, then.
Exactly.
Thank you very much, Greg. Fire strikes your house or apartment, it can take only minutes to burn out of control.
Many of us have never seen what happens, but tonight we will. Greg Catlin is here to show us how fast fire can travel, and it could help you get out alive. Greg?
We started a house fire 3 weeks ago in the town of Barker, up near the Broome County landfill. And tonight, with our cameras rolling inside, we are going to show you that dramatic video to help you get out alive. We've also got a clock running to show you just how fast a fire can take off. And remember, this is actually what happens. This house on Dunham Hill Road will be leveled by fire. We have 3 cameras set up inside. One in the living room where the fire will start. One in the baby's room right next to the living room, door closed. And a 3rd camera on the 2nd floor at the top of the stairs, door open. We also put a brand new smoke detector on the living room ceiling to show you how well they work. We set the fire in a wastebasket between the couch and the chair in the living room. The clock is now ticking. Within seconds, flames are shooting out of the basket, and the room will quickly fill with thick black smoke, and you'll barely be able to see the fire. At just 20 seconds, the smoke detector goes off. With the fire gaining strength, you can see now the flames from outside. Hopefully, you've already gotten out and called the fire department. At 2 minutes, the chair and couch are raging. Smoke is starting to creep into the upstairs bedroom where we left the door open. Within seconds, a dark black cloud fills the bedroom. It will probably kill anyone sleeping here. The baby's room downstairs is starting to take on smoke, but remember the door's closed. Just outside the baby's door, the fire is now racing out of control in the living room. Flames racing across the ceiling, to the left, over to the stairwell. Again, in the upstairs bedroom, it's now pitch black with flames shooting through the darkness. Now watch the clock and how quickly the smoke fills the living room, like a curtain that drops. Within seconds, you can't even see the window in the daylight, and you can barely see the fire. It's now 3 minutes since the fire began, and flames are shooting out the upstairs bedroom window. Castle Creek Fire Chief Ken Clark makes the call to attack.
Go! You got it! Go! This thing is going!
Oh, Jesus.
Go!
Firefighters move in. If this was a fire at your house, they wouldn't be at your doorstep. The response time would take several more minutes before firefighters arrive, giving the fire even more time to destroy your home.
Yeah, just be advised, the fire is out for the moment.
With the fire now out, Chief Clark and I go inside to check the damage. The living room dripping with water.
The fire started over here, rolled over the ceiling, and then from the ceiling...
Show me over here on the stairwell.
From the ceiling, it rolled right over. Because this door had opened, we had an influx of air coming in, and that forced the fire right upstairs. Because you can see from the door, she's burned at the top, but she's not at the bottom.
This is where the fire started. There's virtually nothing left of that wicker chair. And remember yesterday on Action News, we told you about the heat difference in a room where there's a fire? The heat up here could be more than 1,000 degrees, while the heat low to the ground could be a couple of hundred degrees. And you can breathe better and see better low to the ground. Case in point with the heat, this telephone on the wall, it wasn't melted from the fire. This phone was melted from the heat. Just off the living room, the door leading to the baby's room, charred by fire. But inside, the other side of the door and the room itself were spared.
This is the baby's room.
This room is virtually untouched by fire. It is untouched by fire.
It's untouched by fire, yep. You can see there still is a little smoke. It did get a little, but then again, that was a pretty intense fire just in the room out from it.
This showed the importance of keeping that door shut.
That's right. A baby sleeping in this bed most likely has survived this fire. Anyone upstairs, I would doubt it.
Remember, most times it's not the fire itself that's going to get you. It's the smoke and the heat. Now, most of us don't think about fire until it happens to us or someone we know, and that is why we're doing this story, to show you and help you get out alive. Mark and Allison, this is the one camera we used in the upstairs bedroom, and as you can see, we've recovered it, but it was melted by the heat. And this lump of plastic is the actual smoke detector that we put in the living room, and it did its job very well, sounding very loudly just 20 seconds after the fire started, but it too melted into a lump of plastic by the heat and not the fire.
Certainly not going to work again. So the firefighters put the house out. What happened to the house then?
Well, once we finished with the story, the house was reignited and burned to the ground. And we'll show you that tomorrow night at 11. Plus, I'll have more life-saving information on how to get out alive.
All right, look forward to that. Thank you very much, Greg.
Thank you, Greg. If a fire ever hit your home, you'd have only minutes to get out alive. It takes only minutes for a fire to race out of control.
For the last 2 nights here on Action News at 11, we've actually shown you what happens in a house fire. And tonight, Greg Catlin wraps up his special series with some life-saving information. Greg?
Well, the experts say the #1 thing you can do to protect yourself from getting hurt in a house fire is to have an operating smoke detector. It seems so simple, but industry statistics show that only about 60% of smoke detectors in the home actually work. 60%. That's because the batteries run out, or people take the batteries out and then don't replace them. This is a fire we set inside a house on Dunham Hill Road in the town of Barker, inside a wastebasket. It took just 20 seconds for the smoke detector to go off.
Number one, make sure you have at least one operable smoke detector in the residence. If you only have one smoke detector, it should be put in the vicinity of the sleeping area. You should ideally have a smoke detector on every level of your residence.
Broome County Fire Coordinator Mike Aswad says to check your smoke detectors every now and then to make sure they're working. A smoke detector can alert you to a fire like this one, raging out of control in the living room. It takes only minutes. They say not to try putting it out yourself because more people are injured thinking they can beat it down. But the fire usually wins.
So get out, get to a neighbor, call 911, and wait for the fire company to get there.
Typical fire in here?
Typical fire.
Except for you guys running the pump over there if you got
Typical for a cigarette being thrown into a wastebasket by accident, and going from there. Someone could have been asleep on the couch.
Once the fire was put out, firefighters went back in to reignite the house and burn it to the ground.
You're talking about a lot of toxic gases that are given off from just a normal residential structure fire. The foam in the rugs, the foam in the sofas and the chairs, those type of things. The plastics on the wall or in the house, they give off toxic gases. And that is why firefighters have to wear self-contained breathing apparatus when they go into a structure like this to protect themselves.
And as it burns, think about how you can protect yourself if fire were to hit your home. Stay low to the ground to escape the heat, smoke, and gases.
You should have an exit drill plan for your residence. Look at your residence and figure 2 ways out of every room.
Check doors, windows, and stairs for every possible way out. And most important, practice a plan to get out alive. And if you have children, teach them the plan to get out in a fire. Show them what to do and try not to panic. Mark and Allison, the one thing that really stayed with me while putting these stories together was just how fast that fire took off once we set it in the living room downstairs. It took just 3 minutes for those flames to get going and shoot out of the bedroom window, just 3 minutes. So you don't have a lot of time in a house fire, but you can plan to get out alive.
You need to be prepared. Now that house, is it totally gone now?
Yes, it is. It is destroyed. The Castle Creek Fire Department used it for training, so they worked with us to do this series of stories. And I would like to thank Chief Ken Clark and his crew for all their help and the other fire departments that worked alongside them.
Very informative. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, Greg.